Hello class and welcome to Human Resource Management, Module 11. In this module, we're going to be discussing employee benefits. So let's get started. Employees prefer to work for companies that pay well and offer attractive benefit packages. Typically, these benefits include items like dental care, vacation time, tuition assistance, health care, eye care, sick time, etc. Many companies have adopted the policy of more is better, a philosophy that basically states that the more benefits we give the employees, the better that is, because we'll be able to retain employees. However, many companies have also started to cut back on benefits because of their increasing expensiveness. So the Bureau of Labor Statistics shows that roughly 30% of employer-related costs when it comes to compensation is related to benefits. So there's a fine balancing act there that companies need to employ. Now, one such company that goes against the grain with this is Google. Google offers their employees a world of benefits that many other companies don't even begin to offer, such as free food, going up until 8 p.m., free food is all available, coffee, Java, massage programs, health and fitness centers, dental care, eye care, all that is free. Free cars and transportation if you ever need to leave campus. The benefits really go on and on and on for Google. Now, Google cites that one of the main reasons that they're able to have top quality talent is because of the benefits that they offer to employees and the culture that creates. Benefits do, however, they affect how employees feel about their job. You know, if a company is very stingy with benefits, then you're going to see employees begin to feel that way toward the company. And Google certainly, once again, is a great example of companies that use their benefits to actually create the culture or influence the culture in the organization. There are, however, some benefits which are mandatory, meaning that these are benefits that everyone who's an employee are entitled to. Some of those, for example, Social Security, unemployment insurance, and workers' comp. Now, Social Security is basically, it was an act that was passed that stated once an individual reaches a certain age, retirement age, which today is 65, that could change. There was some effort to try to push the retirement age up to 69 or 70. But it states that once you reach that age, that you're able to receive some type of financial benefit or payout. So the idea here is that money is taken out of every paycheck that every employed person has, not contractors, but W-2 employed employees have. And that money is set into a savings account that's managed by the government. And once you get to a certain age, you're then able to withdraw from that or receive monthly payments to help assist in covering your living expenses. Unemployment insurance was created in 1935, and this insurance basically states that if you lose your job, you're able to receive some type of financial benefit or financial assistance on a temporary basis, right? It could be anywhere from a couple months to up to 6 months or longer, depending on where the government is at that particular point in time in the payouts. Now, the idea here is that you need money to help you transition to your next job. So here's some money that's going to come from the state. It's paid out by the state. Oftentimes it's funded by the federal government, but it's paid out by the states. And the rules associated with how it's paid out, when and where, are covered by the state as well. But this money is going to be given to you to help you cover the basic bills and expenses to get you to the point of your next job, your next hire. Now, there's some criteria that you must meet in order to qualify for unemployment insurance. One, if you are let go from your job, most reasons why you get let go are perfectly fine and acceptable in terms of getting you approved for your unemployment insurance. However, there are some exceptions to that, such as getting fired for something so egregious that is just absolutely ridiculous. And you know what? You deserve to be fired, and no, you do not deserve unemployment insurance. Another thing would be if you've done something illegal. Say you got fired because you failed a drug test, or you were actually doing something illegal on the job, theft or something along those lines, then you're ineligible for unemployment insurance. You file your claim. You need to do it within a certain time frame, certain time window. You need to provide them all the information that they need to process the claim. And then once you have the insurance and you're receiving the payouts, you need to follow their steps in terms of so that you can remain eligible. And oftentimes these steps primarily center around, are you looking for another job? Are you giving proper effort towards finding replacement employment? You have the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act. So this act is what's commonly known as Obamacare, which basically mandates for organizations with 50 or more employees to provide insurance health coverage to their employer, to the employees. Okay, and there are some contingencies along with this health insurance that were embedded into this act, namely that insurance companies cannot withhold coverage because of people's pre-existing conditions. So they had to allow for pre-existing conditions. They also extended coverage for people who have dependents, parents who have dependents up until that dependent is 26 years of age. I think the idea here is that many young people are in college and they're facing their own financial situation. So to allow insurance to cover them up until a reasonable age where they've at least completed undergrad college, I think was the idea behind that. And then also it limits lifetime, it ends lifetime limits on insurance, meaning that let's say you had some type of condition and it's very expensive, so you're constantly going in for treatment or surgery or what have you. You can have a lifetime limit. Well, once you hit that cap, the insurance then can now officially not pay or eliminate their payment responsibility for said condition. Well, this law removed that, so there were no lifetime limits now on coverages. So a lot of good things about this act. It's highly controversial in today's climate. Because of the way it was implemented, there are some major issues with the rollout and some premiums for various individuals going up. But in all, the act has provided substantial health care to a number of people. Additionally, if you're one of those organizations with 50 or more employees and you now have to provide insurance coverage, this is an expensive hit to your budget. And if you don't offer the insurance, then you're hit with a tax penalty as a form of reinforcement. When it comes to insurance, there's basically two major types that we deal with nowadays. You have PPO and HMO. So PPO stands for Preferred Provider Organization, and the other one is HMO, which is Health Management or Health Maintenance Organizations. So PPOs are basically when there's a group of healthcare providers and the insurance company has gotten with them and they've negotiated substantially discounted rates for service. And as long as you're going to one of these providers, you can benefit from that discounted rate that's already been negotiated. Now, the nice thing here is that it's very flexible. You can go to anyone that you choose. You're not limited or locked into a specific network like HMOs. That's a little different. They actually have a network of doctors and hospitals that belong to this particular network, and you must go to a provider within that network. So if you're going to a provider outside of that network, then there's no health coverage benefits to you at all. So in terms of freedom and flexibility, PPOs are better, HMOs are more restricted. HMOs, however, have a slightly lower premium that you pay on a monthly basis out of your paycheck or bi-weekly basis out of your paycheck than PPOs do. PPOs are generally regarded as a little bit more expensive, however, they have much more flexibility. Now, there are some additional benefits that we could talk about when it comes to companies, and these fall in the category of life management benefits. These are benefits which allow you to manage your lifestyle, and activities that are going on in your personal life more efficiently. So to kind of go through some of them, you have paid time off, educational assistance, child and elderly care, long-term care benefits, life insurance, financial planning, legal services. And man, these benefits can go on and on and on. It just depends on who the company is and what all they offer. For example, at Prairie View University, they actually offer free counseling services. So if you're going through marriage difficulty or you're having difficulty with your children or whatever it is, you have a certain amount of benefits when it comes to counseling, which allows you to get free sessions. I believe up to, I want to say maybe 8 to 10 sessions free from a licensed counselor. And that's one of the benefits that you get. It doesn't cost you anything. So it's important to note that organizations are thinking about their employees as people inside the company, such as I gave an example. There was a company I worked for that had a benefit with free drinks. So all the soda machines and drink machines and juice machines in the company were free. They also had ping pong and pool tables and everything available to the employees so they can go and take time away from work to rest and relax and have a little bit of fun before returning back to work. You have benefits that help the employees within the company. And then you have a lot of benefits which are designed to help employees outside the company, like child care assistance, or some organizations actually go as far as even having daycares where they provide child care help or assistance for employees at a reduced or even sometimes a free cost. One of the biggest benefits that's most important is retirement planning. And when we think about retirement planning and how those benefits line up for employees, there's two basic categories that emerge above everything else. One is a pension, and the other are 401k plans. And I can tell you that pensions are becoming less and less not popular, but less and less, I guess, popular, throughout society. You'll see a lot of pension type plans in government organizations, school districts, state, federal organizations. They may offer pension plans, but a lot of your private organizations have moved over to 401k plans. So let's talk about the differences between the two. So a pension plan states that when you hit retirement age, you'll be eligible for a fixed payout for the rest of your life. Now, the amount of that payout is going to differ based on how long you work for the company and what was your highest salary while you were working for that company. And between those two factors, they have a formula that's used. It will tell you what your payout is going to be. Now, pension plans are not without their risk. The idea here is that money is being taken out of every paycheck and being put in the pension plan. And that plan administrator is then taking those funds and investing it in the stock market for a return. That return is what then funds those people who are actually already retired and their pensions until they pass away. Now, there have been some problems with this in that many pensions have been either underfunded or insolvent, which means that they didn't have enough money to manage their payouts. Because you got to imagine this is a pretty expensive endeavor for many organizations, or they just simply ran out of money in the pension. So what happens is that the government has created a nonprofit organization to guarantee pension benefits. So private companies have been then handing over or giving their pensions over to the Pensions Benefit Guarantee Corporation in order for some assurance or guarantee of the of premium payouts. Now, the premium payouts that one may expect may be very different when coming from the nonprofit government organization. As a matter of fact, they have limits or caps set on how much a payout would be depending on a person's, how long they work for a company and what their highest salary is. That cap right now is around $62,000 a year. Now, 401k plans are very different. What they are stock-based plans that's self-managed by the employee. So you would have a 401k plan administrator and also managers who then manage the funds that the money is invested in. All the funds are taken out of your paycheck, whatever amount that you set. Could be anywhere from 3 to 10%. Usually somewhere in there, is what you're allowed to contribute, 0 to 10%, somewhere in there. Many companies will have a matching component, which means that they will match you dollar for dollar or 50 cents for every dollar or whatever the designated amount is that they tell you, but they'll match that up into a certain percentage of your salary. So let's say 6% is the salary number that they'll match up to. So for example, Prairie View, they match dollar for dollar up to, I believe, 6% of your salary. So you can put that 6% up. So that means I'm putting in, if we're hypothetically making $100,000 a year, I'll be contributing $6,000 to be taken evenly out of every paycheck throughout the year. And Prairie View would be then matching that dollar for dollar out of every paycheck until we hit 6%. If I were to contribute 7%, well, the matching would still only go up to 6%. It would not go up to 7%. So with that 6% contribution from me and 6% from the university, that'd be a total of $12,000 put into the 401k. Now, you specify what type of mutual funds that you want your money to be invested in. And you can reallocate that, as frequently as you like. Most companies nowadays have an online platform, not too different from online banking, which allows you to go in and identify or say what types of funds, mutual funds, you want your money to be invested in. And you could look at the interest rates and continue to change that money, move that money around to try to optimize your return. Now, there's another concept that you want to be concerned with, or be aware of, rather, I should say, and that's the idea of vesting. Now, for a lot of private organizations, they'll have a vesting period, which means that they're going to match your contribution. However, if you don't stay with the company for, let's just say the vesting period is 5 years. If you leave the company before 5 years, then all the money that they contribute to your 401k, they're able to take that back out. So you're not fully vested until you hit that 5-year mark. And I'm just using 5 years as an example of a vesting period. When I was at IBM, we had a 5-year vesting period. Now, if you were terminated or laid off from the organization, you are automatically vested, even if it's less than 5 years. Outside of that, you need to stay at the company for at least 5 years so that you can be vested. And then if you were to leave 5.5 years, 6 years, you could take your full 401k plan with you. Now, last thing here is that you should note that it's not free. Although the money is coming out of your paycheck every month and going into a 401k and it's being professionally managed for you, you still have to pay for those management services. So those fees are taken out on a yearly, quarterly basis, or however that particular organization has it structured. And it's typically a percentage of the overall dollar amount. So be very careful if you have 401k plans, that when you leave an organization, if you're not going to roll it over to another 401k, that you may consider rolling it over to a different organization who may have a slightly more favorable payout structure. Now, the last thing I want to say here is, and this is kind of just for FYI, if you want more information about this, let me know. I'd be more than happy to help you, as it is an area that I specialize in, is that most 401k plans only allow for individuals to invest in stock or stock-based options. There is an option out there, however, for 401k plans that are no longer tied to a specific company, meaning that you no longer work at that company. It's not an active 401k plan where your paycheck is contributing directly into that plan. But for those types of 401k plans, you can roll those over and you can actually invest in whatever you like. It's a special rollover to what's called a self-directed IRA plan. And you can then direct those funds to be invested in whatever. So in order to help secure your retirement, I would suggest the following. And this is one thing that I do, so if you want more information on that, let me know. But you actually roll your 401k over and purchase real estate. So let's say you have $150,000 in your 401k plan, and now you're going to roll it over to a self-directed plan, a self-directed IRA. From there, you could direct the IRA to purchase real estate. So you go now and you buy a $150,000 home. Your IRA buys it cash. All the rental income from that IRA, all the rental income from that purchase, is then deposited back into your IRA on a monthly basis. Now, the returns on this far outperform the stock market. You can do the math yourself. Typically, a $150,000 home is going to bring in about $1,500 a month. And you can multiply that by 12 to understand what the total contribution into your 401k is. These plans need to be professionally managed. So you want to have a management company or another professional kind of handling everything for you. Once again, if this is something you're interested in, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to help you with that. But pension plans and 401k plans are a key component in terms of helping people get prepared for retirement and their major benefits offerings by organizations. That wraps it up for this lecture. Please let me know if you have any questions or comments. I'll be happy to help you. Thank you and take care.